Hi, I'm Stephanie McKeith, holistic cancer coach and cannabis consultant, and this is the Theta Living Show. We are doing a cancer coach chat today, and we're going to talk about struggling with treatment. And a lot of people are going to be able to relate to this. Sometimes although we know something's good for us, that doesn't make it easy to do. Sometimes it makes it even harder. So I want to share a story of a client that I was working with, and he had built his recovery plan, and he was incredibly structured in sticking to his regimen. He was dedicated, and he didn't miss a beat when it came to juicing, eating exactly as he was supposed to. He had even gone through genetics testing to make sure he was eating according to the way his body chemistry was able to metabolize. He was doing his therapies. He was dedicated to a sleep schedule, listening to podcasts, journaling, just doing all of the things that somebody who's trying to create a better lifestyle would do in the case of healing a cancer diagnosis. But he was doing it with a negative attitude. He was resentful. He was kind of angry at it to some degree. There was a couple times he made mention to me that he would be out riding his bike and see a neighbor or a friend or somebody else out in the community riding their bike too, or just standing off to the side in their driveway throwing back a beer. And he'd think to himself, man, how is it fair that I had to completely change my life, everything about my life, the way I act, the way I eat, the way I live, the way I work, the way I exercise, everything. And this dude's over here throwing back a beer with what seems to be no care in the world. So this was like this burning thorn in his side that he was always thinking about. And when he was juicing, he'd think, man, if I didn't have cancer, I wouldn't have to be juicing. If he was doing his sauna treatment, he'd think, man, if I didn't have cancer, I would be doing this just for fun. So he had like this love-hate relationship with it. So he had some blood work done, some testing done, just follow-up maintenance type work. He was doing very well, but he still had active cancer. So one of his follow-up tests, he went in to get the results from his oncologist, and the doctor walks in shaking his head, and my client says, "Doc, don't walk in my room shaking your head. You've got to give me either a straight face or just come in with some information. You're scaring me." And the doctor says, "Well, I just don't know how to explain this. But we don't detect any disease here. Everything looks clean. Everything's in the normal range. We don't find any evidence of cancer. We're going to declare you no evidence of disease." So my client was thinking, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting this. How? I went from coming in here with cancer to leaving with no cancer. It just seemed kind of weird, but whatever. So he stepped out as this new person on the town. He started to act like he was a healer. He was making good choices because he wanted to. He was making continuously developing helpful habits because he wanted to. He had a certain confidence about the way he spoke, about the way he did his work, about the way he interacted with people. He was just more aware of everything. He was conscious about his days. He was very intentional. So people started to treat him like that. They started to treat him like he was just this incredible man who healed his cancer in an impeccable, remarkable kind of a way. So he was still doing all of the things he was doing before. He was still juicing. He was still eating clean, holistic, and organic and non-GMO. And he didn't stray from that because it made him feel good. So he was doing it from a feel good type of a stance. He was still engaged in all of his therapies. He was very active with his treatments. He did his meditation and his journaling, and he still did everything, but this time he was doing it because he wanted to. So as that shift happened, people started treating him like that. Whereas before, people avoided him. He was very short-tempered. He was a little aggressive in his reactions to his wife and to those close to him in his tiny little circle of family and friends. People avoided him. They avoided conversation with him because he was just snarky and snippy and always had this chip on his shoulder, that cancer chip on his shoulder. So it was just a matter of shifting his thought process and the way he presented himself and the way people actually responded back to him. So almost a year later, he received notification from his oncologist office, and they said, your doctor would like to meet with you. And he's thinking, that's weird. I haven't had any recent lab work or tests or anything. Okay. So he goes in and the doctor says, I don't even know how to say this to you. I am so sorry. I deeply apologize. We are completely at fault. But when we gave you your results of no evidence of disease, we were sorely incorrect. We were mistaken. You still have cancer. He completely sunk into those words. People thought, including himself, that his whole life changed when he got those results. And it did. It truly did. It changed because he changed, because his emotional state of being changed, because his frame of mind changed, because he started acting like he had health. As soon as the doctor said, no evidence of disease, looks like everything you're doing's been working. So he started acting like it. He started acting like everything he had been doing was working, when in fact it was working. He started acting like he deserved it. He started acting like he had already achieved health. He started acting like he had already healed himself from cancer. And nothing changed except his frame of mind. Like I said, he continued to do all of his therapies. He was still actively engaging in his cancer recovery plan because it wasn't that freakish. It was just living a healthy lifestyle. The difference was how he perceived it, how he thought about it. And that created the feelings in turn. That created how people responded to him. When he had an attitude and was grumpy, people avoided him. We don't want to engage with people like that. He had a negative bubble around him that people didn't want to burst his negative bubble. So all of the things that he was doing were that of somebody who had recovered from cancer. He was living his life with purpose and with intention post getting that no evidence of disease, even though it was false. He expected nothing less. He expected nothing less than for people to treat him like he didn't have cancer. He was doing everything he was doing before, but he didn't expect anybody to treat him like he had cancer. So it was his behavior that came before his success. And that goes for anyone. When you act like you have health, when you act confident and like you deserve it, that behavior is what comes ahead of your success. I want you to think, how do I need to walk? How do I need to talk? How do I need to act like somebody whose cancer is already gone, that it's already behind them? And that's how you need to walk, talk, and act. Those are the action steps that you need to take. It's probably going to be a lot different than somebody who's walking, talking, and acting like they have cancer, like they have this victim, poor me mentality. And to a certain degree, sure, yeah, we feel bad for you. Cancer sucks, and there's no way to make light of that. However, you have to claim your space, your healing space, and your ability to take a step ahead of that. You have to claim that. How would you look at things? How would you touch things? How would you consider and recognize things in your life if you weren't dealing with a cancer diagnosis? How would you how would your food taste if you were eating it because it was providing you with nourishment and it was nourishing your cells and it was healthy? How would you think of that food differently? How would it taste if it was nourishing you versus getting rid of your cancer? There's a big difference there, and that's mind. That's a mind frame. How would you praise yourself and give yourself recognition for adhering to therapies and treatments and IVs and supplement and devoting time in your day for prayer and meditation and gratitude? How would you praise yourself for that? You need to do that as though you have already healed versus I'm doing this because I have to. That gives a negative connotation to your cellular being, and it can cause you to resent your treatment plan. We don't want to do that. You don't want to fake it till you make it. Be it now. Be that healthy guy now. Be that woman with no evidence of disease. Be that now. Feel it now. Your behavior has to come ahead of your healing. He was the same person before the doctor walked in as he was after the doctor walked out and said, no evidence of disease. Nothing changed. Name, place of residency, job, treatment, nutrition plan, sleep schedule, spouse, kids, neighbors, family, car, clothes. Nothing changed except his frame of mind. So I want you to understand the difference between a mindset and a mind style. What behavior will allow you to step into the now? That's a mind style. When we have a mind set, we are engraved in, this is how I have to act, this is how I have to be, cancer sucks, I'm doing this because I'm trying to heal, because I want to get rid of this, because I'm fighting this disease inside of me that I don't want there. That's a mindset, stuck, can't be changed, set. When we have a mind style, we already think as a healer. We walk as somebody who's been through it and it's behind us. We are speaking and acting like we are confident in our being, in claiming in our health and well-being and recovery plan. And that's a huge difference. And you have every bit of control over those thoughts. Nothing changed for this client. Nothing. Except the doctor came in with a piece of paper from the wrong patient. He forgot to change files before he walked into the room, and that was it. This whole man's life changed because of the way he responded to that. And you can too. So if you're struggling with a treatment, remember, change your mind frame, change your mind's style. Don't be set in thinking that you have to do this because that's what somebody with cancer does. Put yourself in the, I am doing this because I am a cancer healer. I am doing this because I am on the road to recovery. I am health. I am healing. And that makes a world of difference. If you're stuck and you don't quite know how to do this and you're just not sure that you can flip the script on that way of thinking, let us know. We have a cancer recovery technique program that is designed just to help you do this. That's what we do, and that's what we're here for. So reach out to me, let me know how I can help you, and I will get you all of the details on the cancer recovery technique to help you be in control of your mind style.